radio, so I guess I'll just talk to you fine folks since I'm bored. Bored is a good thing. Bored is a really good thing. I will take bored after last week. I will take bored 5 times. I've been riding this old 4640 all day. We're 56 acres in here. Hopefully we're gonna knock out a few more acres by the end of the day. Got all the ditches fixed on this farm. They held pretty good over the winter. We're over here planting what I call is just an old red sand hill. That's what I call it. Been working this thing about 4 darn years now, and I still ain't found a good way to plant this son of a gun. I'm planting it with the creek over there. But yeah, it's just pure old sand up underneath that. Plant in the dust, your bins will bust. Plant in the mud, your crop will dud. Y'all remember last year I was talking about how when I was replanting them beans in July, how I wasn't going to worry about what the neighbors were doing. I was just going to plant on my own schedule. Well, that's what we've done this year. We've done our own thing. Robert went over to the field and he said them first soybeans we planted are starting to come up. He said they could actually use a little shower. Supposed to get a little cold this weekend. I don't much care for that, but we're gonna keep on planting. You don't get a spring like this where it's dry. This old soil done got good and warm. The soil's good and warm, and it's dry. So I ain't worried about it. We're sticking it in the ground. If we gotta replant it, we just gotta replant it. I'm gonna at least get to plant 1 year the majority of my corn in the dry. I tell you what, I was skeptical on the return on these clutches. But you see how these old contours here we're planting, and how this ground lays, and watch these road clutches. I've worked these poor old road clutches to death. You can see that they'll start. Alright, we're all planting now. I have worked them things to death today. We have been planting patches today. We have planted 6 and 27s, 33, and then 33 and 25. What's that, 58? 58 acres. And they've all been patches. I think these darn road clutches is going to pay for themselves pretty fast in seed savings. I mean, you take $90 an acre for corn seed, that's going to add up pretty quick. You know, highest corn seed we bought this year was $300 a bag, and the cheapest we bought was $225 a bag, or it might have been $217 a bag. It's either $217, $225. That was 5570 that we've been planting so long. It's an old hybrid, been out forever, so it's gotten pretty cheap. Well, right here's the farm we own. Don't that look super fun to plant? Everybody needs some ground like that. But you see where them road clutches probably are, well, shoot, paying for themselves there. You see the dark, all them spots, it would have overlapped there. But we got this little day up planted 25.6 acres. Whew. Let's go to some big fields. So when I say I'm going to plant corn at the lake, this is what I mean. This is Gibson County Lake. what I mean? And not only do you get the beautiful tour of the beautiful Gibson, shoot, every dang time. But not only do you get the tour of the beautiful Gibson County Lake, you get to see the buffaloes too. White buffaloes at that. Y'all getting the 2-for-1 today. See what other kind of exotic wild animal we got there. Some type of fallow deer maybe. We got the whole team over here. Ain't she pretty? Can't beat that green and yellow. Let's get everything woke up here for the day. We're gonna reset this so we know how many acres we planted today. While I'm driving back here to the next field, I'm gonna show y'all a couple of things that'll make y'all's life a lot better if y'all have one of these 750 screens. That will help you out, help your life be a lot easier. So since we was running the road clutches this year, I decided to get a better signal to the better signal so that these clutches turn off on and off when they're supposed to. We went to Trimble's RTX, basically like basically be John Deere's version of SF2. But I noticed in the spot or two still won't playing a wide row or a narrow row occasionally. So I got to playing around in my display and come over here to settings and go to your satellites, and you're gonna want to come over here to advanced, and you're gonna want to pick is use SBAS satellites in position fixed. Yes, you want that to say yes, and then use SBAS plus. Uncorrected and SBAS corrected satellites will be used in this position, recommended under trees to improve position quality. Well, that was on no. And it's not using any corrected satellites, so what do you think it's doing for my signal? So yeah. Well, I go in there and push plus, push yes, and I don't think RTX could have, I don't think RTK, which is about the best you can get, could plan any better. We had some planter troubles, and we come back 17 hours later, and it was dead on with that last pass. We started on one side of the field, jumped to the other side of the field, and worked our way back. It was dead on that pass. Well, I was planting this field right here, and I noticed got the planting wide row and a narrow row again. So I go in there, and the corrected satellites was turned off. So I ain't too daggum sure these companies ain't turning this stuff off in these screens, because this screen is 10 years old. I ain't too dang sure they ain't turning some of this stuff off in these monitors where you'll think it ain't doing a good job anymore and you'll go upgrade. So one thing I've learned at the beginning of the day is go in there and check all your settings, and it'll make your life better. But if you got a screen and it ain't doing the suit you, go in there and check that. And another thing is, I'm not too sure the wasp we were planting on, which is like a low uncorrected signal, I ain't too sure it wasn't darn work with this if we'd been using these corrected satellites. But I didn't think about it until I got in there and got to playing around. Alright, let's get out and dig here and give ourselves a report card and see how we're doing. I like that. There's a little bit of the trench left. Right there he is. There he is. Ah, dang it. Right there he was. Wouldn't hurt to deepen them up a little bit, but them old twisters doing their job. We're gonna go back here, put this on. We're gonna deepen it up one notch. Each notch is about 1/4. Guys, you don't know how nice it is planting in some dry conditions for a change. But this may be our last day of dry weather. I'm supposed to get a shower in the morning. We'll plant a little more and we'll dig and come back and check the depth. Well, we're poking along here. Gotta plant slow on this old farm. Even though we worked it, there's a little bit that's still rough where they cleared it years. Well, I don't know how long it's been since they cleared it. We got plant slow in a spot or two. We got this rough patch here. We can grab another gear. We plant about 4 mile an hour, 4 to 4.5. Just depends on how smooth ground is. It's pretty fair ground through here. We planting about 30 to 31,000. Just depends on how the mood is. So if we get up there on top of the hill, we'll plant 28,000. Over there on the weaker side of the field, I planted at 27,000. Let me get worked around this brush pile and I'll bring you back. It's the best it's ever planted, so something is going to have to happen to screw it up. You don't get to plant with these conditions it's good and then have to do it over. Not have to do it over. And there's a dude up there standing in the gate of the farm. I'm sure he's gonna want some. He gonna have to learn how to talk on the go, because I ain't stopping for him. Might be a good time to run down here and do these inroads. Probably what I'll do. This spot right here I'm going through, it always stays bad wet. I mean, it's just a darn swamp. Well, here we are. We're towards the end of the night. We're chug-a-lugging along through here. We like about 2 or 3 passes and we can call it a night. Close to the line, hit her pedal wire, let her planter down. We'll get her, turn her fertilizer on. We're gonna have to work around this tree here, and I don't want to hit the tree, so we'll work around that. Well, I'm coming out tonight. We're gonna move the tractor up to the next field We ain't gonna work none in it, but we're gonna move it up to the next field. We better check the whole field view. Better check the whole field view here and make sure we got it all planted. I say I need to go to a one screen. I want my population map. Alright, zoom in. Alright, it looks like we got the whole field planted here. As y'all can tell, this is my population map. Y'all see the thin ground? Lower population. Better ground, higher population. So that's where we're at. Look like we got it all planted. We fixing to go down this road, go up this road, and move to that field right there.
I guess he's gonna fold up. I would get out and walk around, but there's an armadillo out here somewhere, and I do not want to meet him. So I'm just gonna crawl over.
We could work later, but in my younger days, I would have went down there to the lake and planted that 8 acres. But I'm to the point, I'm just like, crap on it. It'll get done when it gets done. You know, old Bob's over somewhere. You know, if it was May 18th and not April the 18th, I might worry about it a little more.
Yeah. I want to do it again.
No, we don't want to do it again. I'm pretty confident in that what we planted up there on the hill. We go down there in that little flat down there below the lake, we'll liable to have some issues. No, let's do this once and be done with it. We could use a shower.
Yeah, our fence need a shower.
A shower.
Yeah.
Not a flood, a shower. Robert says the blade tractor's got to have fuel. The planter's got to have fertilizer. We can dump the rest of that 54.97 in. And Robert lost a bag of corn. There's 235. No, that's 54.97. That's one of them near ones. You know what? Crap happens. Just let it roll off of you.